What's your favorite memory of being a Norwegian Dancer?
Oh boy, probably dancing on television in Chicago, and that must have been my senior year because my partner was Joe Neely, so it was my senior year. That was pretty special.
Now, was that part of a trip, or
That was a trip.
that was a big trip for that year? And do you remember the dances you did?
Well, we didn't do a lot of dances because there was a couple other folk dance groups there too. I do remember we did the Rhinelander, and I remember that Miss Reek modified it, so it seemed to be appealing to a television audience. It was streamlined a little, I guess.
And what do you remember about Miss Reek?
Oh, she was a wonderful lady. Touched the lives of so many people. I'll never forget her. She would have to be certainly one of the 5 most important people in my life. She was so dedicated to the Norwegian dancers and to young people and to the city of Stoughton. Very, very lucky to have spent time with her.
What do you remember of the tryout process?
Well, let me think. The lady that I danced with, or the gal that I danced with, wound up being my sister-in-law. And she was a good dancer. She didn't make it, but I did, and I can remember Miss Reek telling me afterwards, Duane, if you're going to be a Norwegian dancer, you're going to have to straighten up. There was about 3 or 4 of us selected. The other memory I had that's really interesting about the Norwegian dancers is we got a new football coach, and Miss Reek had a lot of the football players in Norwegian dancing, and Gil Krieger came in as a football coach and said, I hear there's a dance group here and you guys aren't going to have time for that. Well, we had practice at 7 o'clock the next morning, and we were all right there at practice, and he looked in the door and saw us all at practice and decided he wasn't going to fight it. We could dance.
So you won your first game with the first-year coach, you won your last game with the first-year coach, and you were dancers the whole time.
Yep. Yep.
So do you remember how many boys tried out? Was it 100 boys and 4 or 5 made it? Or?
Well, there wasn't 100, but there was. It wouldn't surprise me if there were 50. Certainly more than 25 boys and girls. Yeah, it was very, very popular.
So what's your best memory of it?
Well, I mentioned Chicago. The other memory I have is I was on the wrestling team, and there was a wrestling match and a Norwegian dancing performance the same day. Well, you know, I was captain of the wrestling team. I was going to go to the wrestling team. But Miss Reek got to the wrestling coach, and I wrestled in the afternoon at Wisconsin High School, and then somebody picked me up and went with the Norwegian dancers to dance that night.
Wow. How were the dances taught to you? Did Miss Reek do all that, or were there other Norwegians in the community?
No, Miss Reek did all of it, and she wasn't really a dancer, but she was an educator, and she worked so well with young people that that's how it became so popular. That's how it became so important to the city of Stoughton. And she'd come up with something new and teach it to us, and we'd pick it up. And we always practiced at 7 in the morning. Then we had to go to school, and then we had to play football or wrestle or something. So, yeah.